There we go. Almost missed the sound. There we go. Okay. So what's up? How you guys doing? What is that? Five of you guys in? Okay, I'll give it a second. Random news events of the day, whatever. Let's see. Oh, Lonnie Williams. What's up, Lonnie? So who is this? This is my Strupet. Okay. Hello, Richard. Did I miss something? It's okay. Mike, what's up? Humid. Humid right now. Raining all day. Well, no, not all day, but raining a lot. And right now it's humid. It's humid in here. So I turned off the central heating and air and got a little fan on right here. And it's humid. For sure it is. Because if not, it'll make too much noise. I just saw it, Lonnie. No, that's not true. I saw it before, but I can't send emails from my phone, so I got on the laptop and did it. Yeah. So you should see if you just got it. Tell me if it's in your junk mail. How's the weather in Arkansas? Okay. Hey, Rob. Oh, G-Man Brooklyn, what's up? John, who's the meanest warden? Any warden stories? Oh, the worst warden for sure was not even a warden. He was an associate warden, Sneezik. Um, After the ABDC murders in 1997 and 98, Sneezik was either there right then or came in right after, and he stayed. So this is what happens. When a new warden comes, he usually brings an associate warden with him, okay? For whatever reason, Sneezik got to stay at Lewisburg through like four or five administrations and always stayed associate warden of I think it's programs because whatever warden it was, it like trumped everything in the prison. So as far as policy, he was at the top of policy. So I think it was programs, not operations. And I know that sounds a little bit anyway, but it was A.W. Sneezik. And I've talked about Mickey Ray before. No, he was an ass, but it was a different kind of ass. Sneezik was all he didn't want any kind of he wanted to run Lewisburg like it was a camp. Literally, like not even an FCI, not even a low. He wanted to run it like a camp. Of course, there's pushback because you have the staff there that are generational correctional officers. You know, he also made the staff pay for their meals. Technically, staff is supposed to pay for their lunches. It's like, let's just say $3 a day. I don't know what it is right now. They're supposed to pay, but they don't. Okay, they have like a donation box or yeah. Sneezik made them all pay, so it wasn't. It was prisoner and staff alike. But with me, as soon as I got there, I've been in prison 5 years, and he didn't want me to have visits, even though I got my visits back. And my mom caught a case with me, and he wouldn't let my mom come to visit. We did work it out. It got worked out. But also, so in 2003, about February or March, he was standing in the main line. This is at USP Lewisburg, and a guy from it was a Latin king from New York named Gotti walked up to him and sliced him. I mean, just buck 50, boom. And this guy goes to the hospital, gets it glued, not stitched, glued, and then comes back and walks in every unit and faces everybody like, you know, that didn't do nothing to me. You know what I mean? And by the way, that guy Gotti was like, they beat him up so bad. I saw them drag him in. I had an assault charge that morning. So I just got put in the hole when that happened. So I was still, they had me in like a shower area. They beat beat him senseless and sent him to Allenwood Shoe. And then from Allenwood Shoe, I think to the ADX. Yeah, that's how it went. And like he was supposed to be messed up in the head. But Sneezik, Man, just a bad person. Then he went to an F. So then he finally got his wardenship right before he retired, and he went to some awesome low and destroyed it. I forgot which one. The people will make comments. Somebody will know. Rich had a lot on his plate the last. Okay, I got you. Phone text. Oh, so you did get the number. I haven't got it. I haven't got it, so I got to do. I did something wrong. I'll figure it out. Ronnie G is out. You ever did time with him? Ronnie G on this day, MMA. I can't think of who it is. I don't believe so, but it's possible. If you tell me. No, actually, I'm okay. So when I was a kid, I had allergies. I had to get allergy shots and stuff. This would have killed me. Robert, what was Warden Booker like? Awesome. Warden Booker was an awesome warden. I've told this story many times. The first day, this is my intake at Leavenworth. I'm fresh in with a life sentence, and I'm in Leavenworth. 15 minutes after I arrive, I'm already into the. I had a hypodermic needle in my arm with black tar. So it was party from the gate. Okay, so this is like, it's a few days later the way they ran it. Maybe a week later. Let's just call it that. They had the heads of all the departments came in, so the orientation process was pretty thorough at that place, I guess. Everybody talked to you. They came in to introduce themselves, the head of all the departments, what the department's supposed to be about, blah, blah, blah. I remember the nurses would say 60% of the population has Hep C. Don't use drugs intravenously. People get alcohol poisoning, that stuff. But Warden Booker was the last one to talk. And if he wasn't 6'4", 6'6". I'm saying 6'6", okay? Who knows? Maybe somebody can find out. And he's going to be 3 feet tall, but he was big. And just as round, like 400 pounds, okay? And he used to smoke long cigars. He was 100% all about convicts. If the food was cold, he would throw it all out, make them recook it, and you might eat dinner at 10 o'clock at night. Made sure there was ice cream bars, chicken. That's ice cream bar, soft serve ice cream. When we had the soda machines, everybody did. But he was cool. Would come to the tables in the chow hall during mainline, talk to you, maybe put a butt cheek on one chair sometimes, and people would actually be drinking wine. I have been there when we had wine on the table and he came and said nothing. But when he came to that orientation speech, he waddled down the aisle slow with the big plume of smoke rolling behind him, and he says, "I'm not going to take any questions." So he said about something about the feds giving all the time, too much time, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, if you're into black tar heroin, we got that up in B Upper. If you're into China White, we got that in da-da-da. He named like every place where like the drugs were. Crack. If you like boys, at the end of it, this is what he said. Did he say cat and mouse? Was that the one? He said, whatever you do, just pay your bills, gentlemen. Don't come hollering at us because you can't pay your bill and Klein and want to go to PC. Deal with it yourselves. Yeah. Go. And it was like, yeah. And another one that actually sanctioned assaults, a warden, an AW. This is my take on it, okay? AW Estrada, 2005 at USP Lewisburg. That's when Sneezik left. It could have been 2006 at the beginning. Let's see. So maybe the summer of 2005, beginning of 2006. Estrada comes in, gets the heads of all the groups, brings us all into the lieutenant's office and said, this is a penitentiary. I'm going to run it like a penitentiary. Meaning Sneezik's gone. No more. We're not making this the softest place in the United States anymore because it was soft. It was soft for from 2002, the end of it when I was there, to 2005. Camp Fluffy for a USP. No drama. Camp Fluffy. Even with the gangs, Camp Fluffy. Then it rocked again. But Estrada brought us all in. I said, I'm going to run this like a pin. This is a pin. If you've got business to handle, take care of it Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. Or 8 to 3, 8 to 4. Not on the weekends. No more than 2-and-1s. Use your hands and feet and no weapons, and we won't have any problems. If you do it on the weekends, we'll have problems. Do it when my staff's all here. That means hit people. You think we didn't leave the office and boom, to start sending missiles at people that we hated? You think that didn't happen? It did. So and the next day, Taz, shout out to Taz, former member of the SAC now, I guess. And even Crazy Train, who I've said before, did bad things as a prospect of a dirty white boy who became a SAC member. Hit one on the yard. Good one. They did a good one. And then after that, it was, I don't know, it was every day. Bing, 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 bing. It was just knock them out. It was on and popping. It was on and popping. Yeah. Okay, so let me see. King Dom, what's up, bro? Warden Purdy at Three Rivers was going to fight my friend in the hall. Mickey Ray would have. So I'll go ahead and tell the story. Latin Kings here in New York love the Razors. Absolutely, Dom. So I'll go ahead and tell the story about Mickey Ray if you guys never heard it. There was a guard named Mickey Ray who came to Leavenworth right after Warden Booker. He looked like Jimmy Carter. I think he was from Missouri, but he talked like a Georgia peanut farmer. He had a strong accent. And I'm telling you, he looked like Jimmy Carter, okay? The first dealing I had with him, how I got introduced to him, was me and my friend Swivel went in the chow hall and hit somebody. And it was a vicious hit, okay? It was a vicious hit. During short line, which is pre-chow, like for like kitchen workers and something before that. And like kicked this guy unconscious back up. So like lots of blood. I had kitchen whites on, okay? It was all part of the plot to get in the kitchen and go eat with kitchen whites on and then go do something to the kitchen clerk. I'm amped up when the dude, all I did was kick this guy in the temple over and over again. And I'm going to tell you something. My friend who did this with me and other dirty white boys walked the track with me and said, Rob, do not unalive this guy. Okay. We know you got life. We get it. We don't, we're not trying to go there. Whatever you do, don't kick him in the head. Okay. I think they were like having doubts about my fighting skills or whatever. My friend actually hit him, knocked him out to the ground. I kicked him and, awake to sleep, and kicked him. And then the boss comes running. No, don't do that to my clerk. And there was a lot of blood. Cops came in, and when they tried to grab me, try to put handcuffs on me, and you never let them put handcuffs on you after you do an assault with a bunch of prisoners or inmates around, okay? Because guys have been handcuffed after they get handcuffed, and people have went and assaulted them, okay? So you never want to cuff up when there's people around and you just got in a fight and the cops tackle you or whatever. So I was refusing to cuff up. So I was just full of adrenaline and blood, and drugged me to the hallway, then to the lieutenant's office where here was this guy. And this Simic was the lieutenant. And he said, and I was not a dirty white boy, by the way. He said, what's this shit about? What is this shit about? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What's this about? Simic said, oh, this dude's one of them dirty white boys. I said, I know effing dirty white boy. And he says, yeah, you are. You're running with them. And this dude, this peanut farmer, now they do have me cuffed. So I did cuff up in the office, okay? The peanut farmer grabs my shirt and rips it open. And I went boom and headbutt him, but he didn't get really hit. It was the warden. I said, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? He said, I'm the new warden. I was like, oh my God. I'll never forget it. That was my first assault. It was my first assault in the feds. And that was Mickey Ray. So what ends up happening, he's got a grudge against me and my friend because we did something in the chow, which is kind of a no-no, but the circumstances panned out that way. So there's that. And So after we did this assault together, we stayed in the cell together. And then an incident happened where we fought the SORT team, like eight cells of guys, and me and my friend, okay? We did the most damage. Actually, it's my friend did the most damage. I didn't do nothing. He actually knocked the dude's teeth out coming out of the cell. Okay, there's a video in the Bureau of Prisons. Correctional officers, take note. There's a video in the Bureau of Prisons that they used to use in training on what not to do, and that was me. I gotta get that video. That was me and my friend. Okay, he came out the door first. He for sure better fighter, a lot stronger than me. Absolutely, 100%, 100%. And what happened was when they do cell extractions, there's two people, right? When there's two people, they have 5 on each side because it takes 5 guys to take you down. Well, we stood at the door. Everybody else was trying to block the stuff. We were trying to come out on them, and they were tripping because we were being aggressive at the door. Like, open the door, come on, yeah. And they were shocked about it. So when the door opened, the captain, Captain Woods, he didn't make a call like saying right, left, go first. So we got out of the cell. My friend hit a cop with the helmet, busted his tooth. So Mickey Ray hated me and him for that. Then, then we did the SORT team. Then we got separated. He made them separated, so they put us in the cell next to each other. And then on 4th of July, he came by, and I was drinking with the cigarette. I was drinking hooch with the cigarette and the radio on. You're not allowed cigarettes in the shoe. You're not allowed to make hooch, and there's not allowed radios. I had them all on. He was just like, he told the staff, come and get me. And when they came to the door, they said, Rosso, cuff up. We're going to move you. I said, no, I'm finishing this bag of wine. We're not doing that. I'm finished. You guys can move me, but I'm going to drink this gallon first. And it was a gallon. And they're like, listen, how about this? We're going to move you, but you can take your wine with you. And I swear you got my word, we're not going to touch it. And you can keep your radio and your tobacco. Put it all on your back. We're not even going to cuff you up. You walk out of here and walk right where we want you to go. Bet. They sent me downstairs with the Muslims. I was the only cracker on the tier, and it worked out great for a minute. They gave me all their fruit and sugars, and I played them oldies, and I got drunk every day. Anyway, so Mickey Ray, there's that. Oh, he lets us out. We're supposed to do 18 months, but he let us out early, and then immediately we hit somebody again. Did we get locked up for that one? Not the first one. So we did like 3 people together. On that one, he put us back, so it was me and him again. And what happened next? Oh, that's when he came. That's when the DC prisoners came. And he took me out, and he said, I was going to keep you here 18 months, but we got these 400 DC black, he didn't say black, that are coming here, and they do bad stuff to people and blah, blah, and I hope that they kill you. He literally said that to me. So, okay, I'll finish the story. So, skip a year, all the dirty white boys are crashing out, beating each other up, okay? Whatever. We're not allowed back on the compound, okay? So, Mickey Ray gets the job as the East Regional Director, Northeastern Regional Director. That's above the warden. That's the warden of wardens, the warden over a bunch of wardens, basically, Regional Director. And he comes back to Leavenworth on a tour, and he hand selects which one of us he wants to take with him. And he took me, the other guy, but he separated us. One went to Allenwood, and I went with the other 5. And when he came there, I remember pulling up on him and clowning him. And I said, hey, Mickey Ray, they just opened up a place in Forest City. If I give you 18 months clear conduct, will you send me to the FCI? Not a life sentence, and it was too early for me to go. He says, Rosso, if you give me 18 months, I'll send you to Forest City. The next day I hit somebody. And he found out, okay? So he gave me that deal again. Okay, he wanted me to stay clear conduct. So this is what happens. They made him retire out. POP forced a policy and made all the people 25 and over retire out. So he comes to the prison, just doing tour of all the prisons, all right? They say, Rosso, the regional director wants you up in the hallway. And I'm like, what? I go up, there's like 20 suits. And I did have 18 months clear conduct. And I went up there to tell him and like think that this dude was actually going to send me to Forest City. And I walked up there and I'm like, hey, Mickey Ray, I said, you know how many months I got clear conduct now? Like 20 or something. And he goes, I don't give a shit. And I said, well, you told me you were going to send me to Forest City. He said, Forest City, I'm sending you to Big Sandy. You remember Beezy? That was his AW. He's going to be the warden. We're sending you to Big Sandy. Then I got cancer, and then I went to Butner. But 2 years after he was out of retirement, so that was actually in 2004. 2 years after he was out of retirement, I come back from playing handball all day. Warden Smith was at the top of the stairs. Him and Mickey Ray grew up together, correctional officers all the way from Missouri. And they destroyed my store. They destroyed $1,000 worth of chips, cookies, and everything. Easy $1,000. And I was like flipping out, okay? You're not supposed to have stores, but that was like, they crunched them. They like stepped on everything. And I'm like, I'm looking at the warden. I'm like, what the hell's going on? He's like, hold on. So as soon as they left, he goes, put your hands up against the wall. He shook me down, spread my legs out, and he actually patted me on the freaking ass and said, Mickey Ray says hello. And I was stunned. I'm like, this sick SOB has been retired. It was a year or 2 years. I'm almost positive it was 2. But Smith, yeah, because Smith left in 6. And I'm like, he just sits home on retirement and thinks about this crap. It's like, you know what I mean? That's my Mickey Ray story. But anyway, that's what happened. All right. I think most guards bring their own rather than Mike. A lot of them do eat in the chow. They usually good people. They usually good people. Okay. Did Joey Test ever talk about his brother Patsy Test? He allegedly murdered one. Never. I've never heard Joey Test talk about his brother. Oh, the Latin Kings. Yeah, I think. Yeah. I agree, King Dom. Let me think before I agree. Who's out of New York? I'm pretty sure I agree. Was drugs frowned upon in the prisons by the guards, or was it as a means of taking attention away from the staff at the facility? It depends. Some guards did frown upon it. Here's how it works, Lonnie. Okay. So let's assume that you have a prison and you've got it under control and there's very little drugs trickling in, okay? And you also have a U.S. attorney on the street that will prosecute prison cases no matter how small. All right. So when drugs come in, even if you get caught with an outfit, which is a syringe or a point of a needle, even if you get caught manufacturing moonshine, some prosecutors are giving guys 18 months. So when that happens, they generally tighten down, and it's, from my experience, and I watched this happen at Lewisburg, tighten down. Then an administration changed, and there was a new attorney in that area, U.S. attorney. They didn't prosecute prison cases, unless you stabbed a guard or something like that. When drugs get saturated into a prison system or in a prison, imagine this now, okay? Now, you have a U.S. attorney, and I am not by no means advocating for U.S. attorneys to go after prison cases. The whole drug thing is a bunch of BS. And I watched the illegal tobacco trade blow up after they took tobacco out of the feds, and prohibition doesn't work. Anyway, so you have, if you're the staff member, the intelligence, which is called SIS, and then the liaison is the SIA, Special Investigating Agent. They're the liaison to the prosecutor and the FBI or whatever government agency, okay? So if your SIS lieutenant and SIA know that they're not being prosecuted, know that the prosecutor's not going to want these prison drug cases, and you just happen to be in a period where your prison's flooded with drugs, okay? What they will do at times is they will give you a heads up when they're going to do piss tests so you don't piss dirty because they don't want you pissing dirty. Or if that doesn't work and their hole gets crowded by putting too many people in, they will, they always tell, they will not give tests, or I've seen them not give tests. Usually they have to. I'm trying to think. I got stuck. This is what the deal. They'll let people deal drugs. They'll let people bring it in, especially if they know that, number one, they are not going to be like a violent person behind it. They'd rather have somebody that's, all about business and it's not going to want to rock the boat. They would love that. And a lot of times the dudes that do that bring a bunch of stuff in, work with the staff. Okay. Not working with the staff to even bring that stuff in, but that happens too. But just they're prison rats. They're prison rats. Okay. Point blank. But here's what happens. They then don't want region, the institution, let's say Lewisburg, I'm just using an example. They don't want region, which is the next level up, institutional, regional, central. They don't want Region to find out that they have this drug epidemic, so they won't they won't have a bunch of dirty bottles. Okay. So then they kind of turned the blind eye to it and they just let it happen. K2 and Suboxone became hard for them to deal with as far as being able to stop it from getting in. And I know every facility I've been to since I've seen K2, that staff will let people deal for a long time and make a lot of money before they stop them. So it's just different. I hope that answered your question. Okay, he actually became a warden somewhere. He got a CO beat up in Mexican Lewisburg with F block with his note cover. Oh, I think he's talking about Booker. I think. Wait a minute, I'm not sure. Is Subs sober? Subs sober? I'm not sure. Is the warden job an elected position, or is it a hired from within the type? No, that they elevate them. It's appointed. It's appointed. Yeah, they're appointed by the regional directors, I guess. Is the warden? Okay. Ronnie G was the captain. Ronnie G was the captain. Burlow snitched. Oh, I got you. Okay, I got you. Was the female guards ever hooked up with the inmate, or was the female guards ever hooked up with the inmates, or was that only staff? So there's a lot of female guards that hook up with inmates. There's a lot. I think that's what you're saying. It's a political position. So I would agree with the political position, but who appoints them? How does that work out? Assistant governor? No, I believe it's by the regional director. Tagasi, yo, what's up? Yes, Lonnie, I did. I contracted Hep C over what you think. As a matter of fact, I know exactly when and who I got it from. I went from using bleach with 5 rinses of a bleach. Okay, so somebody uses it, you get it, rinse it 5 times. Okay, so that's water once, bleach once, water once. Okay, so there's like 10 rinses, whatever. Then I went to just water because everybody hated bleach because it ruined the rubbers on the syringes. Then, so 5 water would be like clear. That worked for 3 years, 4 years for me. Then I was in the shoe, just brought some stuff in, and we had to pass around an outfit between like 10 of us, and in the shoe, I use Simple Green. Well, this comes to me and it's not clean, and I have to clean it out, and I put Simple Green in it, and I couldn't get the bubbles out of it, but they were at the door trying to get it from me. So I stuck it, hoped Simple Green wasn't in it, did it. What happened was blood got trapped in the Simple Green. So that's what happened. And it was C1, C2. I think C4 is typically what people that are intravenous users get. And they gave, right after they found out that I had it, they gave me interferon Pegasus. And yeah, I did good. They also gave it to me for cancer. Miss Kit got, yes, and one at the camp, right? Right. It was it Jay, or I think it was J Block. You're right. That's right. So this is what happens with this chick. By the way, the women that get in trouble, they usually try to sweep under the rug. Okay. Miss Kit, perfect example. She was a really, really pretty black girl, young. She had an ass on her and she swung that thing and she played the part. She would sit on the elbow of your chair. You'd sit right here and she'd put her ass on your arm. To a lot of people, but she had nude photos of herself that she was giving to some guys. Not very smart. You know what they did with her? By the way, she was only one of 2 or 3 blacks working in Lewisburg. Okay, that's it. They gave her a job at the Postal Service. Carmine Persico was not a shot caller per se, but he definitely. Georgia Tech, I wouldn't say it was his, but he had a TV. That's for sure. That's a big deal for an old dude to hold that down. And people gave him respect, for sure. And because, really because in some cases, because guys like to watch him cuss them out because he's like an old man cuss these dudes out, not realizing that he would actually put hands on them too. But the funniest thing was when somebody called him Pops and he said, "Pop these nuts in your mouth." That was priceless, to hear that from him. but some of the guys would almost like in a teasing way, but then their homeboys would say something because he got pissed. But big respect. Yeah. Big respect out of all the mob dudes that I know. Danny Farmer for sure did. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. It's a podcast. Joey Test. I'm way off. No, Lonnie, Italians don't call shots unless you're talking white gangs, but they will fight together at times. Yeah. Was Carmine Persico homophobic? No, I wouldn't say he was homophobic, Lonnie. No, I mean, he would say derogatory slang words towards, so he was a 80-something or 78-year-old man. So it's like my dad's thinking. My dad would not think he's a racist, but he would say, and had like, and knew as a labor's union leader how to work the racial lines. Appointed somebody black, appointed somebody Mexican right underneath them, and was very, very big with minority communities and labor rallies and stuff like that. Bring his black as coal friend, as they would both say, back here, who was from Arkansas, but at this time, they still had the sundown signs here up until the 90s. You know the sundown signs, okay? They still had that here to the 90s. So my dad brought his friend back here and like for like a couple days or a week or something, and people are tripping. But he would not hesitate to say the N-word or W word. That's the sign of their time. So yeah, Carmine was like that. But he more got a kick out of them and would laugh at them, there's this one I can think of in my head right now, Kiki. Carmine used to just, oh man. The wardens that understood that you need to regulate the system as opposed to control everything. Yes. What's up, David? Why did the DBB take away your crown? Oh, because I was losing my mind. God, I hope somebody doesn't hear this. That's currently in Georgia. Because when Bobby Ray Shields first got there, I wanted to have peace with the baby. No, I never wanted to be one. But I didn't want to beef with them. And there was like this ongoing, and all my bros wanted to hit him as soon as he got out, just to push the ABs out, whatever. And I said no. And then I had a talk with them, and they were telling me that he was trying to recruit guys to go against us, and I didn't believe it. I had a talk with them, and he lied and said that he didn't have no. And I was like, dude, listen, we're not trying to run this prison, man. You got the Italians, you got the Bostons. We're not trying to run them. So it's cool. We're not trying to and maybe that was wrong too. Maybe we should have, but whatever. It doesn't matter. And I'm not talking about towards the Italian and Boss guys. I'm nothing like that. I'm talking about to the white prison gang guys. But then he did try to throw a coup. Then he did raise up his chest. That's why I've had problems with Bobby Ray, plus other scandalous shit that he did. And I couldn't get my cell back. So I was pouting like a spoiled child. I had a cell that was the best cell in the prison. I believe it was. I truly do. So there was, and I made a comment to hit a staff member and to attack ABs and all our guys that were my friends. And I was dead serious. So all these dirty white boys that were around, they kept bringing new dirty white boys in too. They were hungry, We're saying no contract hits, right? For a while, no contract hits, no extortion, blah blah blah. Like these, and they're like, what how are we gonna make money? You know what I'm saying? And what was I saying? So that happened, and then I got out of the hole. I couldn't get myself back. I was on a bad downward spiral of drugs and alcohol. I mean, just really go. My cancer came back heavy. And they got rid of me. The AW got rid of me because he rid of me, transferred me, made sure I became a care level 4 and got me out of there. Butner denied my transfer the first time. AW Estrada got on the horn and made it happen within 48 hours, private jet. And he said, I'm not going to sit here and watch you commit SUIC, because that's what you're doing. That's what he told me. And when I got transferred, they had this big old thing that said that I was trying to AILL. certain staff or any staff. That wasn't true. One of that part wasn't true. Not any staff, but yeah. Anyway, men respect men. Period. What is the time where you were very paranoid when you were going to get hit? What is it? What is as a time? Was there a time? I'm sure. Time where you were very paranoid you were going to get hit. The only, let me think. Hold on. Yes, by the Mexican Mafia. So let me think. I can go through this all right now. So not in Arkansas. Well, that's not getting hit. That's being sex played. So meaning that whole choose your daddy BS. That wasn't. So Spanky with the Mexican Mafia. I thought that they were waiting on the walkway to hit me for sure. But so Spanky, maybe some bills that over bills I owed. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that was really like a threat. Like I thought, not by my bros, nothing like that. Well, I did live with one of my brothers at Terre Haute who was in email contact with other dirty white boys, some of which did not like me for writing. So there was a minute, I wasn't paranoid, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have jumped up off the bunk and would have went to swings about it because he was getting some shit about it. Because I wrote an article just in the Dirty White Boys. It was self-serving. It was for my clemency purpose. It was self-serving. I just called him a disorder. I stated the truth, but it was, yeah, I could have worded things differently. But here's what happens with Spanky. Spanky is a Sereno from Orange County who gets they're prospecting him. So however the Mexican Mafia does that, and everybody knew it was him and Robert. I always forget that dude's name, but both of them at the same time. And Mexicans hit. Spanky is a hardcore scumbag dope fiend. Okay, people were shocked when the Mexican Mafia decided to make him a black hand or had him up prospecting to be a black hand. This guy was the worst pay because I ran a big store. He was terrible. Well, then I went on a run in 2006, and I think it was like $150. But you know, I borrowed from Peter to pay Paul a lot. I mean, I did because I gambled too. So waiting to hit a ticket, waiting for money to hit from the street, whatever. So I did. I ran deep bills, people. You know, straight. I mean, anyway. So I think I owed him $150. Surely it wasn't 50. I don't know why 50 is running, but it was about $150. And I did this. It's in the Mexican Mafia piece that I did. And I actually missed the move. Now, let me say something about when people miss the moves. It means that they're usually peeing on themselves and don't want to go out. So me and Spanky had words in the gym the night before, like he pressed up on me. You know what I mean? And then to add injury to insults or whatever, insult to injury, whatever. As I'm walking out of the gym, he sees me go cop. I go get a front, you know? So in his mind, I don't know if he knows I'm getting a front. He's probably thinking, why aren't you paying me? You know? Hey, it's because what's the D for, people? You know, I used to trip on those guys. Man, I can't believe your brother didn't pay me. Really? A dirty white boy. A guy, what's the D for? That was my own little thing. Anyway, so the next day, it was not normal for that many Serrano / Mexican Mafia, because there was a handful at the time. They just came from Marion. There was 6 or 7 black hands there for a second, and a bunch of Serranos. So I don't go out, which I always went out at 8 o'clock, and I did look out the window. I knew that the move was late. They were going to shut it. As I'm trying to grab gloves or something I was grabbing to go to the yard, I can see down and I can see all the Mexican, I can see them all lined up. And I thought, that's for me. That's for me. And my partner, Swivel, comes back in on the 9 o'clock move, which they have to come in first. So that's how it works. Comes in and goes, "What are you doing?" Da-da-da. He's like, they're down there waiting on you, man. They're waiting on. He thought so too. So I went to Benny Geritano and got a New York special because for whatever reason we didn't have regular still. Oh, it was on the yard, and they were waiting down right on the walkway. So it was something made from the dental lab, a straight little fits in your tooth, straight razor you pull out, pop. It was a little too small, but whatever. So my dude says, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "I'm going to go take care of this." He's like, "Wait, dude, we can try to talk to." I said, No. They're not going to sit there and wait for me. I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to let this happen. Don't trip. He's like, "What about steel?" I said, "I got this. Don't worry." I always do that stupid shit where I don't care if there's 20 people. I tell everybody, "Stay away. I got this." It's worked out bad in the past. But anyway, just hot-headedness. I go out there. By the time I get out to where the walkway is, and I think it's going down. Like, I think these dudes all might stick me. And so did my dude. So did my guy, for real. Because he saw me get that. He said something when he saw me cop that. And he was like, he was pissed, I was on the dough. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do when you're dope fiend? Anyway, so yeah, I can see where it was on. Well, we go outside. They're already walking the yard, and it's Willie Bobo, who's like the guy in the feds. Okay, the top Mexican mafia in the feds at that time. Black Bob, a whole bunch of them. So they're coming around the track. So I'm amped up like this, right? So I go the opposite way. By the way, in prison, people only walk counterclockwise, okay? I don't know why. So I go clockwise to meet up. And I get there because I'm trying to see if these dudes are getting a jump on me. When they don't, there was a few weird looks, and I said something to Spanky. I said, "Hey, come here." And Willie Bobo, who's a friend of mine, they saw that I was like, and I went up to him and I said, "What's up, man? What's up? What's the deal?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I saw that early." He's like, "Dude, what are you? Did you speed?" And it wasn't even about me. That was a high alert issue. And he's like, "Dude, can you pay me now?" Like it wasn't even, he was just mad that night. Yeah, it was crazy. Rob went to a hospital ward of prison, Lonnie. They didn't really take shit. Not like Rob dropped out and debriefed. No, I didn't. It wasn't even, never. Given your age, would you be nervous getting into a fight? I just got into a fight, Lonnie. I just got into a fight, and I wasn't nervous. I got in 2 fights last year. I played prison as a 54-year-old, 55-year-old man. Yeah, I played prison this time. I did a video about them both. And I wasn't nervous. Does that thought of getting at some people still get to you, if at all? Yes. Yeah. Just that thought of getting at some people. So getting, like, I want to go get them for, like, if I get mad or fixated on somebody, is that what you're saying? If it is, yeah. So, somebody told me that somebody did something, and so a girl said a guy inappropriately touched her that was in a professional place. Okay. And I was like red because of and I've definitely, like I said, there's something that happens. And yeah, anyway, one day it's going to cost me if I don't. What's the best and worst bed you were given in the pen? The best and worst hospital beds in the hospital are actually, you can have foam mattresses like this thick. And comfort beds that have the remote control. What are the beds called? Like feet up. I had that since I was in the hospital last year. That's the best. Okay, here's the deal. So here's prison tips. So if anybody's ever going to prison, do this. At some point, they're gonna give you a mattress. It's like a piece of paper. Okay, it's in vinyl, stuffed up. if you open the vinyl, there's like this foam stuff in it. Or back in the day, let's just call it foam. So what you want to do is you want to get another mattress. You can get one, especially if they're making everybody trade them out as they transfer out. But you'll come up on one. Cut all the vinyl off that other mattress, get that styrofoam and stuff that styrofoam inside of the other mattress and have it sewed up. Best thing ever. That's what you got to do. Yep. Bunks. Yeah. That's one. Yeah. Big, awesome medical bed. Yes, Lonnie. I heard. I talked about it here a couple weeks on a live. So I did hear an Indian guy, doing something bad to his celly because his celly was gay. You're FAG. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Take this. Oh, stop. You're hurting me. Yeah, I was. For a while. Who else tortured? Yeah, that's what rings out right now. Rob has stood guard for it. Roy. Okay, Lonnie asked that. What's up? Okay, I was confused. Roy Confab. Do people that have a release time that's close, do they get attacked? So a lot of times guys will beat their friends up before they go home. Like you can, there's cases where, people know you're leaving, they're going to beat you up that day. Like, bruise you. Okay. It's all in good fun. I have seen so many people that had so little time, weeks, days, months left, and then committed a murder and then got more time. So many of those. Bird from Texas AB. Wow. Electric chair. Moss. Hey, Rob, what was your favorite dish when talking shit? Mine was damn, you smell like. Shut the F up or I'll slap. Tapes to come at it. Yeah, I'm bad about that one. I come up with that one a lot. I got that CO. That CO told me he can hold me down and shave my face. And I said, if I wanted to, I can hold you down and shave your face. If I wanted to, I can reach over and slap the taste to come out of your mouth. I know that it was lethal injection. So my instant. Right over. Whoa. Do gang leaders walk if cases come up? Cases like what, Lonnie? You have to be more specific. Oh, Sneezik did my quay. Told me if I hit a guard like I did in the county and state, they'd kill me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I believe that. And this guy, by the way, militant, training-wise, way he kept his hair, walked, everything. Hurt some people. He did. You know what? And at first, Rob, I'm going to say, I wasn't sure if I bought what you were selling. It's not that I picked up and said, oh, this dude's full of shit. It's like, okay, you work out. I know you can't work out with Phil because Phil's hard to work out with. And you came from Raybrook. Okay. And then when you went to go to Johnny Muscles, that day, I'll never forget when you came to me and said, hey, I think something about your property. I saw you. Then I was like, this dude's got big heart, because you were just like, boom. Because you thought maybe there's going to be an issue because you home invaded his sister's house. Maybe there'd be an issue, right? I'm sorry. I won't bring up no more. At gunpoint, laid them on the ground, took their shit. Anyway, so I'm like, okay. And then him and who else? Or somebody else. No, hit. That's when people started saying that dude wrecked some people in that guard. Lonnie, I'm Rob's agent. Let's discuss the royalties. Yeah, Joey Test had an ingenious way. Yeah, had a big pile of cocaine. Snort till you can't feel anything. Bring people in for dinner, shoot them in the back of the head, snort more lines, and get naked with your best friends and have a naked, I don't, what do you call it when you break down meat? I'm trying to think. Was the homosexual activity that topped? Okay. Was the homosexual activity that the top tier Aryan Brotherhood guys were doing, was that normal for most gang leaders to do? Absolutely not. So I heard there was some guy who was dissing somebody else that I really liked, and they're in a beef on YouTube right now. But he made a really good point about homosexuals in prison, that the guys like the 70s and 80s, the bank robbers, he was right. It was not seen as a bad thing. Arkansas Department of Corrections until 1998, it was not frowned upon to have a boy. And it was so crazy, the amount of people that were engaging in homosexual activity that otherwise had wives, girlfriends that come visit them. I seen a guy that was a black dude's punk, a white guy. One of the prettiest girls I seen on visitation. Kiss him, right? He said, bye, baby, and all before a visit, and they're kissing each other. Then he went and made out with his wife. But no, it is not. That's why I have said if people push that issue, the white guys would definitely be different. Rob, did you ever fight the SWAT team in the bucket? Or are you one of those guys yelling "go hard" when they're extracting a cell next time you're busting great? That's a really good question. No, I went. So here's the deal. I didn't want to go. It was a group thing. We were all going together. No. So if something like that happens, I'm the person that goes until they knock me out or something like that. True, no bullshit. And again, I always emphasize, I'm not tough. I got my ass beat so bad in 1997 that no type of fight scared me. Getting hurt didn't scare me in a fist fight, and getting jumped on didn't matter. So that's what changed it. So the SWAT team, it is intimidating. It's intimidating, especially when they're rushing dudes out to the medical, because everybody went hard the night we went hard. So I'm talking specifically the day after Timothy McVeigh was executed in Terre Haute. They had a SWAT team members from all over the United States go to protect us because they didn't know what was going to happen. And the SWAT team from Leavenworth comes back, and we are being knuckleheads. So they did cell extractions from 8 o'clock at night till they did one every 30 minutes. There was 8 cells total, 16 dirty white boys or associates, or dirty white boys were associates. And everybody fought. They'll tell you at Leavenworth, the ones, every single person fought. Now, with me, my dude's far superior as far as a fighter and the shape he was in. Okay, I got short arms actually. He had long arms. Practiced knockout punches all day on heavy bags, and we had gotten into fights specifically so he can see if he can knock somebody out. But so no, what happened was I was at the door charging to go. Matter of fact, you know why I didn't go first? I forgot, because I had metal, because I wanted to go cut them. And he was flipping out. And we almost got in a fight in the cell over that, because and he didn't want to get a life sentence, and I was probably trying to earn one at the time. So we got in a fight over that first. Anyway, he goes first. The confusion happened because they didn't rush in and we rushed out. So when my friend leaped like a deer, is what he did, out the door and headbutted dude, I was kind of caught flat-footed. And by the way, I really am flat-footed. And when I came out the door, I just kind of went, ugh, and fell out the door. And the next thing I remember, I was hog-tied in the air singing "Sorry, Miss Jackson." Sorry, Miss Jackson, I am for real. And looking at my neighbor, who was Zulu, Freddie Moore, who was the leader of the Bloods, and hearing them laugh and not knowing. So what they did was, when they put us down, because my friend had hurt an officer, they made me stop breathing. That was the first time. That's a weird feeling too. And why? Sorry, Miss Jackson. I have no idea, but I didn't live it down for a long time. If you did fight them, did you flood your cell and soap it down? No, we didn't do that. We didn't do that, John, because we didn't want to slip. So we were doing the opposite. So so number one, I got tricks. I have asthma. It's on my record. They can't gas you if you have asthma, okay? Number two, they were opening the bean slots and they were shooting guns, rubber bullets, bean bags, whatever in there. We stood at the door and blocked. We had something to block the bean slot. Usually guys cover the windows, right? They cover their windows up and they put soap and all that on the floor. We're like, no, we're going to fight these dudes. We're going to fight these dudes for real. And I had a knife. I had a piece of something from the cell that was sharp enough to do damage to the sword team if I got them in the right way. Okay, that's the truth. So, and I always went to extra. Like every time I got in a fight or we got in a fight, because me and this dude did do 3 or 4 together, I always took it like the extra. I was always pulled off or said stop and all that other, stuff like that. But yeah, no, we kept it dry, and I don't believe in wetting because you got to get your grip on the floor. If you're really trying to fight. And I learned that, by the way, from a dude named Trevor Bjorkman, whatever, BJ Bjorkman, out of what's the place up in Minnesota, the big prison up there. Anyway, that's where he's from. Good guy. He was you'd think he's kind of slow. He's a marijuana, got busted 10 years for marijuana. He loved, his fun was to get drunk. He wanted to stay in the hole. He didn't even want to be on the compound. He wanted to get drunk and fight cops in the hole. And he did it almost weekly. And he tore so many of them up. It's true. Aaron Brother, Texas seemed to be 2 different organizations, not serious. No, totally different one. Howard Tattoo Administration. Howard Tattoos. How are tattoos administered in the pen? Wow. Motors from a tape recorder, ink pens, guitar strings. I'm trying to think. The ink can be anything from melted plastic to ashes. And he means, are you clean taking Suboxone? Oh yeah, I've been clean off Suboxone for a while. I've been off Suboxone since I got out. He means, are you clean? What the fuck that? Why just buy twice as much and sniff it rather than shoot it up? So it got to be a thing for a minute, to be honest. Shit, that's a prisoner. That why just buy? Yeah. So plus money, $50 a paper. Well, $500 a gram, 3 for 1,000. Rene Boxer would be a pretty interesting guy to interview. I think he's really a smart guy, actually. Okay, Michael Thompson, Aaron Brother, what would say to him if I saw him? I mean, on the street, in prison, sure do got a lot of people fooled, huh? Probably. Something like that. Why are gays so mean? Wouldn't you be mean in a men's prison if you were gay? I don't know. Gennaro Boots. He is a lion rat, Lonnie, just like the rest of the lying rats. Yeah. We were lucky at Lewisburg. 90% white sometimes told me Atlanta they can call. Rob, there's nothing more cringe than white men calling other white men racist. Reno Rocket. Because are you referring to me because I was saying something about the dude being labeled a separatist or racist? Does the walls of the prison, never allowing to leave, make people go crazy? I'm sure, there's what was Malik's name from DC, been down like a forever. He had a faraway lifer stare. Okay. This guy's from prison trying to ask for legal advice. As a Nazi Loretta is a recruitment faction from there. You asked me that before. Hey, Mike. It can be, but it also there's different Nazi Loretta groups. Some of them are F the brand, and some of them are aspire to be members of the Aryan Brotherhood. Didn't interfere on work for you. I remember when they started that program. Yes, but I think there was Pegasus by the time I got it. It wasn't actually interferon. My viral loads were undetectable in the first month and a half. Okay. Oh my God. First month and a half. And on the street, I've taken it, and I tell them every time before I'm Hep C positive. I did a blood test. It's not even showing that I have Hep C. For sure, you always have something in your system, blah, blah, blah. So but they did a blood work, not on viral load, on a Hep C test. And I think they just did one in prison too. But so I was fortunate because I just got it. I know the exact day when I got it, the exact strain from the exact person. And then I got diagnosed with, as soon as I got to Lewisburg, diagnosed with Hep C and cancer back to back within like 2 weeks. So they used the interferon or the Pegasus. Was it Pegasus? Now I'm confused. They used that as a Hail Mary for the bladder cancer as well, like a test. That's what happened. What was the hard labor like in prison? I remember you saying you were sentenced to hard labor. What does that mean? Arkansas Department of Corrections, that means you go in the field. I have seen them run guys in the field for like a half mile, and you work in the hot sun, either picking cotton or you have a hoe in your hand, and that's called the hoe squad. And they work all day in the fields. It's a self-sustaining running farm, I think it is. But hoe squad, that's what I was referring to. Plus they got the farm there, guys working the cows. But guys like those jobs. Were you ever concerned about using needles other than people have used? It seems kind of, oh, God, yeah. So here's the deal. Once I did it, so I would take a HIV Hep C test every 6 months, like clockwork in prison, the entire time I've ever been there, okay? Always. So the method I was using was working for me for so long that I felt like I was maybe one of the people that were immune to it. The time I did it and got it, it was a combination between some Simple Green still in it, and that guy, I got sick like if I had food poisoning. It was Carmine Persico and Bernie Madoff, both narcissists. I don't like the word narcissist. Oh, Bernie, yeah. Carmine, a psychopath. I don't know about narcissist for Carmine. Bernie for sure. I mean, you can watch TV and see that too. Oh. So the only time I ever seen any emotion out of Bernie Madoff, the only time ever was when he talked about his son having cancer. I did actually see that. Otherwise, when he told the stories or told about, he was pretty dry. He was pretty, which like he didn't have feelings or whatever. So Carmine wouldn't really fit that mold. Were you nice in prison? Like if I went to prison for robbing a gang, would you be cool to me? No, I would be cool. I'd be cool. And later in life, tell you not to join a gang. No, to me, Liz Suboxone's not sober. To me, okay? But other people consider that. So it's all depends on your recovery. All right, King Don, bro. Take care. Okay, seems like I hold it. The most ingenious boy, I'd have to really give that. I couldn't sit here and do that right now and think about that, Lonnie. I'd have to, that's like a, what's up? You know I'm on YouTube. Okay, so what do you want to say? What's up? Huh? Oh yeah. What happened? What was the acoustics? Oh, that's right. Well, I fixed the back. Oh, hold on. The back room is fixed, so I just gotta. All I gotta do is put the carpet down. Okay. All right. Yeah. Talk to you later. Mike Miller. All right. Sex player, choose your daddy. You were in an institute. So how did you deal with that? You hit him. Yeah, like a long time ago. So probably 2 weeks later. So I'm getting emails on my phone, or I'm getting emails on my laptop, and I can't send them back out. that was good though. That was good. Was there another one? Did you ever take people saying to you that you used? Oh boy, Lonnie, I hope somebody's not watching. Oh boy. No, I take it offensively. How do you deal with people owing you money in the pen? That depends. Oh, there's another one. Okay. I'll check it out. Okay. I hear you. I hope John call. I got you. I will do it. I will do it. So it depended. So on the streets, so I just didn't let nobody. Um, it depended. Would depend on how financially secure I was, whether or if I owed bills and stuff like that. So it would depend how I would act about people owing me money. Because I also am sympathetic to people owing money for a long time. If you owe money in prison and you move to another prison, would you still have to worry about? Depends on, but in the feds, absolutely. In the feds, yeah, not so much as that. Okay. No, it wasn't every single day, Lonnie. No, there was different periods of my life. There's different periods of my life. So plotting and scheming no, it wasn't like that. Um, for sure there were times. Yeah. Oh, so I'm way back. When you met new correction officers, how would you know what you can get away with oh, you can totally tell who's scared. You can see by their body as far as new correction officers. Did Joey Test ever talk about his life? I never asked him. I never asked Joey. That's the thing. Kim, what is my thought about Trump sending people? So I wouldn't agree with that. Alcatraz, if they want to go ahead and do that, even though ADX is probably more secure, but I wouldn't. I'm not against Pelican Bay type prisons and ADX and stuff like that. I can do that. I mean, I'm not because look what's happening in California right now. But so much more would have to happen first before I would be against something like that, segregation stuff. So Arkansas was really bad as far as that goes. It's different now, but now it's like a lot of other prisons with the white gangs. Yes, Alabama's, yeah. On a bus ride that I was on, what happened at Butner? Yeah, at Butner one time, these guys beat up a child molester. They beat up a sex offender. Some black dudes slipped their cuffs and beat him up on the bus. You think you're in danger with your government name disparaging the underboss who just got released? You think you're in danger with your government name disparaging? It wasn't disparaging. That wasn't disparaging about Bobby. Vito Arena helped. Bobby got his. Okay, so that's if it was going to be disparaging, going to be against all Italian guys because they were happy about the Italian cell. What were some examples of the scariest days in your time in the pen? The scariest days. The scariest days. Maybe what I just told you about the deal with the Mexican mafia. But I think there were scary points of the day at times or something, but like not just a whole day, maybe not knowing what it's going to be like coming off lockdown with something like that. It depends on the guard. What do guards do with chomas? It depends on the guard. Okay. An authentic white prison gang member tattoo. Authentic. Huh. Uh Jesus. It's a question what I think is authentic because there's so many non-authentic white tattoos. So so who would be boy, I don't even know. Sean, if you can summarize prison politics in simplest terms, how would you do so? There are no rules, but follow the ones that they're laid down in front of you. There are no rules. Have I ever been 4-pointed naked? No. What I have been is ambulatory restraints, which is belly chain, and leg shackles for 3 days, twice. Does anyone believe this insane shit? Laugh out loud. Account executive. Okay, we got one. We got a live one. Did you come across a lot of people that had the look in their eye that they just wanted to fight and were just looking for confrontation because they didn't care anymore, because they had a life? No, I became across people that had that look in their eye because they wanted to get out of general population because they owed too much money, so they wanted to pick a victim and get out and do the honorable check-in. How did you get something from a cell to use a weapon? You definitely didn't rip one of the bars off, and you wouldn't know how, and you would know what it is, not stumble on what it is. You're referring to what I said about that cell. Okay, hold on. So it was not cut from the bunk. It was not. So what it was either a razor, one of the razor blades that I bought in. Well, I wish I can call him right now. He's working. I'd call you and tell you exactly what it was. I can't. It was metal. I know it was. It was. I'm thinking it was thin. Was it a? You know what it was? It was a sardine can lid, because I'd used it before. There was a sardine can lid that was brought in through legal work in the shoe. Okay, legal work. In case you don't know about that, that's a scam to get stuff in, because they don't go through everything. They just go like this. So legal work in the shoe. Okay, and then it was remained in a cell. That's what it was. Any more questions? There are multiple things in your cell you can use for a weapon, and you can use a trash bag and heat it up. That pothead likes to fight SWAT teams. Do you know? Yes, you don't put soap and water on the floor when you fight the SWAT team. Oh, John, every day. How many times do you hear guys cussing their women out? Yeah. Power brings out the worst in a man when you have the power of a gang leader. What personal traits were amplified? What personal traits were amplified as gang? Oh man, Lonnie, you're Big Mike. What personal trait? What was the guy's name that made a short on making a knife out of a plat? You're talking about Otto Warnstein. That's what you're talking about, Lonnie, back there. Personal traits for amplified. I can't think. The most concerned I was at USP right after Quay, I was still in the hole. COs took me to the shower. They brought two, then asked them who wanted razors. I thought I was dead. Yeah, you don't shower whites and blacks together. Yeah, I get it. So he gets brought in from the Quay, which is the shoe review. They bring him in there. They let him strip out and change, and then they have two black dudes come in with they want razors. That's pretty funny. What's up, big brother James? Happy Thursday, kicking off the weekend with a nasty snake bite. Whoa. Oh, really? James got hit with snake. Simple Greens cleaner. Simple Green. Dave, what's up? What do you have to worry about if you're not a gang member in prison? Other gang members, don't do drugs, don't gamble, don't get tattoos, stay away from punks. But in the maximum security prison, in the USPs nowadays, they make dudes put in work, which is the stupidest thing ever. Make somebody put in work that don't know. Stupid. It's retarded. Idiots. Could you make a weapon out of a prison uniform? You can make ropes or lines. I don't know about I've never seen prison uniform. I don't know what the SS bolts stand for, but they look pretty cool. No. That's okay. No, I'm good, strip it. For the medical detection looper, you had to watch them throw knives out. Yeah. So before the medical detector, Lewisburg had like a knife factory. Gina, I've keistered a lot. I've keistered an MP3 player to listen to Trump in a debate to the hole. No shit. I 2 grams of tar, an outfit, which is syringe, 3 packs of bugler, a lighter, little Bic, into the shoe at Leavenworth. There's a video about it. It's the night I pulled a hemorrhoid out of my, you know what? Only MacGyver can make a weapon from his uniform. What traits or personality did you see Carmine Persico display? Oh, he's a born leader organizer. You know, he's a born organizer. Body language. He's one of the best people of reading body and vibes and energy, even at 78, for sure. Good. Just he knew humans. Yeah, I heard Michael. I heard he got hit. That's right. From after they thought that I was going to hit a cop. Yes, they black boxed me. And I used to go out for medical trips all the time and I was black boxed when I was in the pen. Anything ever make you laugh out loud before you catch yourself doing it? Yeah, snorting pouches of nicotine. You mentioned the hypercritical nature of the Italian mobsters that you met in the prison system. How would say there was rules they lived by, but actually they didn't. Okay, you mentioned the hypocritical nature of the Italian mobsters that you met in the prison system. How they would say there was rules. No. I'm talking about in general, the mafia in general. Rob Keeson and entire turkey dinner. Keystring can hurt. Keystring can hurt. Yes. A good Wall Street guy? Yeah, he probably could have. Yes, Carmine could have. I do believe that. Yeah, Carmine was an avid reader. He for sure was. For sure. All right. I don't have no more questions. I'm gone. What time is it? Oh, I gotta write these guys, man. These guys are having a cell phone in prison. Cell phone in prison, and they're having DHO tomorrow. They need my help. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.